Story number 1. My mom is blaming me for my sister's attempted unalive.
For some background, my 17F sister 22F cheated on her fiancé 25M of 3 years. While on a cruise, my parents took us on a cruise to celebrate our graduations. Since I graduated high school and she graduated with her bachelor's degree, while on the cruise, I caught her cheating and she begged me to stay quiet about it. I eventually told 2 of my friends because I couldn't hold it in any longer. Long story short, her fiancé ended up finding out because of me. We had a family dinner with my parents, my sister, and her fiancé. The restaurant is kind of small, so there is a waiting area where you wait for the host to seat you, and right near the waiting area there is a hallway that leads to the men and women's bathroom, if that makes sense. While waiting for our food, I went to use the restroom and I ran into one of my friends in the bathroom. We talked for a while. And coming out of the bathroom, she asked me if it was awkward between my sister and I. We exited the bathroom into the small hallway. I said, yes. I feel like I have to be loyal to her because she's my sister. But I also feel like a terrible person for not telling him that she cheated. Turns out, my sister's fiancé overheard our conversation. When I came out of the hallway, I saw him talking on phone in the waiting area, but thought nothing of it at the time. Long story short, he broke up with my sister that same day. He accused her of cheating on him and mentioned what he overheard me say in a desperate attempt to salvage their relationship. My mom drove my sister and I to his apartment at his place. My mom explained to him that I lied for attention and she asked me to apologize. I did apologize. But then he asked me if I lied about the cheating. I wanted to say yes to save my sister's relationship, but he honestly looked so hurt already. I just couldn't bring myself to lie to him. I stayed silent and shook my head a little. There was a huge argument and he called the cops on us. Up until this morning, my sister and my mom refused to even look at me. They had not spoken to me since the whole incident. My dad was the only one who didn't blame me for everything. I know that I should have kept quiet about it. And I feel guilty for ruining their relationship. I feel really bad because he actually made my sister happy. This morning around 1 a.m., my dad woke me up and he was crying. All I remember hearing was my mom sobbing from across the hallway. Everything from that point was just traumatic. When I entered my sister's old bedroom, she was just lying on the floor. My mom was crying while on the phone with 911. And she was yelling incoherent sentences. My sister attempted to commit unalive. I don't want to describe the scene, but I can't get it out of my head. All I feel is guilt. To make matters worse, while we were at the hospital, I accidentally pissed my mom off. I told my dad that I was thirsty and he was going to help me find some water. But my mom got really mad. She exploded on both of us, but mainly me. She basically blamed me for everything. She said if my sister doesn't make it, then her blood is on my hands. And she also said that she wished it was me instead of my sister. My dad cut her off and yelled at her for saying those things. But she just argued back, defending herself. I honestly just feel like a piece of shit. My parents and my sister wouldn't have to deal with this mess if I just kept quiet and lied. My grandma came to the hospital and picked me up. I insisted on staying, but my dad refused. End of the story. What are your thoughts? Leave a comment.
Story number 2. Am I the a-hole for throwing out my son's go-kart after he hit his sister with it? My husband and I have 4 kids, 2 boys and 2 girls, for Christmas. We got our younger 2, 8F. 10M these kids electric ride on scooters and our older son 14 a go-kart. We told my kids that they need to be careful of pedestrians and other riders and that if they hit someone or something with their scooters, go-kart, it would be taken away, and if they broke anything, they'd have to work to pay back what they broke. 2 weeks ago we took the kids to the park to ride their scooters, go-kart, and my older son challenged the younger to do a race. My oldest daughter, 16, had to walk across the park to get water. And when she was halfway there, my oldest son hit her going full speed, around 15 miles per hour. My daughter broke a total of 8 bones in her leg, foot, and got a concussion. on top of the broken bones and head injury. Her phone and watch were both broken. Once we got home from the hospital, 4 days later, I listed my son's go-kart for sale and told him he has to get a job to pay for his sister's new phone and watch. He thinks I'm being unfair because I already sold the go-kart, and I knew this could happen when I bought it for him. Then tried to blame it on her because she wasn't paying attention. She was on her phone when she was walking. But I told him it doesn't matter. He knew these were the rules when he got the go-kart, and it's his responsibility to make sure he doesn't hurt anyone on it. My husband thinks we're being too rough on him and says we shouldn't make him pay for anything or only make him pay for her watch $500. I say no. He knew he'd have to pay for broken property when he got the go-kart, and he chose not to be careful. So he can get a job this summer and pay the $1,500 like he was originally told. My husband thinks I'm being too hard and just trying to get back at him for hurting his sister, but I said if it was anyone else, they'd be responsible for broken property and medical bills. So this is very fair. We can't come to an agreement, so I wanted to know if I was the a-hole. End of the story. What are your thoughts? Leave a comment. Story number 3.
Am I the a-hole for having my daughter take her sister's test? I have 2 daughters in high school. Sam is an A student and Emma is a B and C student. Sam has basically been making fun of Emma for her lower grades. We punish her when it happens, but she goes back to it every time. Now the difference between the 2 girls is that Sam takes the general classes where Emma takes the college classes. For example, Sam took biology as her science and Emma took college physics too, so very different. Summer is here and the final grades came in. Sam got all A's, and when she saw she did better, she started the I am smarter comments again. I had enough at this point. I grabbed one of Emma's old tests. It was a geometry test since Sam took geometry this year, and sat her down and had her do it. Long story short, she was in tears, and then I explained again how grades don't measure how smart you are, that she is in much easier classes compared to Emma. I think it finally got through to her. My wife was informed of what happened before she came home, and she was pissed about how I could do that to Sam. She took her to get ice cream to make up for it while me and Emma are still at home. Edit for those wondering, we have talked to her multiple times. We have tried to get the bottom of it. Her answer is she doesn't think it is a big deal. I took Emma to her favorite restaurant. Filled in my wife with what actually happened and not the story Sam told. We are going to have a big talk later. But she basically said on text she messed up. Not to mention when Sam was calmer, she got a clearer story and realized she went off the handle without the facts. End of the story. What are your thoughts? Leave a comment. Hit like and follow to subscribe for more intriguing stories. Thanks for watching.